A1, a violent vertical edge setter.
I see some ass off the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop. You're finished. Hey, first down. This is weird. Get worse than last time.
All right. I got to change my Cameroon, everybody. Let's get the real one going. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Oh, so clear and crispy. I got to move it a little bit. Let me see. There we go. Right? Yeah. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to GreenBean's channel. I am GreenBean, and this is the After Hours Jetsfest, where we talk about all kinds of things coming out of the hubbub of the 2-hour extravaganza called the Talking Jets panel on the Talking Jets network with the great Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7 and Matt O'Leary along with myself. We do all that, and then we kind of unwind a little bit, put on our carpet slippers, as they say. We hang out over here at the After Hours Jets Fest. We will discuss things like Game 1. Imagine that. How we feel about that. We will talk about why my microphone is slowly falling down. What's up with that guy? Oh, you know what? Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to look at it. It just doesn't want to do the thing. Hold on, guys. Let me fix the microphone thing. Yeah. All right. So we'll do that whole thing. We're also going to do the beloved, maybe not beloved, but the segment picking up steam that we call Sexy Grock. We'll do a little Sexy Grock later on. And I'll do a poll to see what question we should ask Sexy Grock. Last week, we asked how we would win. She didn't think so. And then she wanted to take her pants off. And then we asked her about Braylon Allen and Breece Hall. And she thought Breece Hall was going to be the bell cow back. But she also wanted to take my pants off. So this week, we'll see what's going on. We asked her about walking into the stadium backwards. And she said, ooh, that sounds sexy. She's a crazy, crazy, crazy chick. So we'll do some of that. And we will start with saying hello. All right. So we'll say hello. John, reporting for duty, sir, comes in first. Delightful to have John with us. So we got John, we got Jake. Look at this. All our one name fellas, right? Just right to the point. John, Jake, Mike, Bill, Karen. They're all here. So he says, missed the other stream, just finished my yearly fantasy draft. You got Garrett Wilson. It's interesting because, look, I don't think it's up for debate. I don't think it is. Some others do. I think Garrett Wilson is a stud, and I think that he's arguably the best wide receiver we've ever had. And I think, depending on, his career, how it goes, if he gets a quarterback that they actually jive and he stays with him for more than 10 minutes, I think that his career numbers with the Jets, he'll be our leading everything. That's what I think. Touchdowns, yards, receptions, streak of 1,000 yards. This is going to be an interesting year. So, but that said, Jake, as far as fantasy points go, I don't know. This Justin Fields thing, it's interesting. But nice. Glad you got McBride. But Bowers is a fantasy. At least he was last year, right? We'll see how they go. They do have Gino Smith this year over there. So, hey, who knows? E-Boogie, my buddy, is here, throwing in the green bean or the stream beaner emojis. Guys, if you want to support the channel, it's a great help. And you get emojis, which I have the ability to add a few more, which I'm going to shortly. And you get super chats and all that kind of stuff. members only content, super chats, emojis that nobody else can use by joining the Stream Beaners. E-Boogie, Beanbagger, Stream Beaner, one of my longest tenured supporters. He's the man. I love E-Boogie. So he's dropping those. Let me throw some emojis in there for you guys. Right, here we go. I'll do this one. Hey, how you doing? There you go. Flight Boys checking in. Good to see you, buddy. Eric Samuelson in the house. Good evening to you, sir. Who else we got in here? Ant Jets is in the house. Nice. Snowball. I hope everyone's pumped too, Ant Jets. Snowball Jets Worldwide. If you guys didn't check out the episode that we did last Friday, Jeremy and I hung out on Jets Worldwide for like a little over an hour, and it was a blast. I had to pretend to be Aaron Glenn and answer questions, and Jeremy was Darren Muji. Guys, it was a blast. I didn't know how it was going to go if I'm shooting straight. I was like, I don't know about this one. I'm in, I'll try it, but I don't know. But it was a blast. So if you guys haven't seen it, it's worth a watch. It's fun. So thank you for having me on, Snowball and Jets Worldwide with Johnny Boy. Let's see. Bill M is here. What's up with you, buddy? Emanon is here. Alan Dodes is here. We get GreenBean 2 nights in a row. I know. Last night I just threw up. I didn't throw up. I just threw out an extra bonus stream. Why not? Right? That's what we did. Well, we got to get this schedule settled, Alan, about the Green Beans Jets pod, the After Hours Jets Fest. I'm not doing the Thursday thick of it, which kills me. And we're going to be doing the live game streams with Jeremy and Frankie from Flatbush, as you guys know. And then Ryan and Matt pop in from time to time. Dom C pops in sometimes. Maybe we'll get Gunny to hop in. Gunny's he doesn't come on game streams because he's deranged and he doesn't trust himself. Like, it's too much. You know? We did the one game with the shin is in. That was on Halloween. Gunny came in. So we'll try to get Gunny back on because I miss him because we're not doing the Thursday thick of it. But yeah, lottery time. Good stuff. Who else is here? Jay Mullen. Bring the bean to Jay Mullen's house. There it is. We're coming. Blaze T is in the house. I love it. Look at that. Good to have you here, Blaze. Who else? Okay. Barney Miller's in the house. Jets are going to have an up and down season. Well, Barney, I think you're on to something there, friend. I do. Up and down. Here's the way I want it to. I want it to be up and down because I am all about winning week one, dude. Like I said, I don't only want to win one game, but if we only win one game this year, it's got to be opening day. Aaron Rodgers coming back to our house. It's got to be. It's got to be. That's the way. So as you guys can see, we're going to thank Sleeper. This After Hours Jets Fest is brought to you by Sleeper, where you can get a $100 deposit match. Amazing. Up to $100 using the promo code GreenBean. We'll get into the official ad in a bit when more folks shuffle on in, but I wanted to mention that they're going to be hanging out with us all season long, which is exciting because, hey, guess what? My fantasy league, the Beanbagger Fantasy League, captained by Alan Dodes, is on the Sleeper app, and the Talkin' Jets Pick'em League, guess where it resides? On the Sleeper app. So we'll get into the reasons why you should hang out there, and we'll go into some details. But guys, Sleeper's hanging out with us, and it's great. It's a great way to start the season. So I'll say hello. Aaron Daniels here. Nice to see you, buddy. Hennessy's in the house. What jersey? Well, you know what? I don't know. So look, I got this one. This is called the Dirty Bird. I've had this for a long time, right? Let me see. So I've had this jersey for a very long time. Now, it's 90 for Dennis Bird. The signature is Mark Gastineau. The reason it's called the Dirty Bird is because the first time I ever wore it, it rained in Giant Stadium. It poured on us the whole game. And when I got home, I just took the jersey and threw it in the hamper, and it just like stayed on the bottom of the hamper and for a long time. And it got like this mold on it. And believe me when I tell you, I tried to get that mold off. I even brought it to dry cleaners and they said, yeah, it's just that it's not going to come off unless you want to actually bleach it, which is going to ruin the number. So I just said the hell with it. But here's the problem that I have. I would just wear this jersey, and I might, Hennessy. But here's the problem. It's not my official Bird jersey. This is what it has on the back. Can you guys see it? You see? So I don't know. I don't know if I want to wear that. You see? So that's my last name, GreenBean Sarakia. So I don't know. I might wear this one. I think I was leaning towards Sauce, my white Sauce jersey. Problem with that is we're going to be tailgating our asses off, and I like to get sauce on my white jersey. If I have a white jersey, it's got shit on it. That's just the way it goes. Maybe I wear my Quinnen signed jersey because why not? I'm not a collector. I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm not like that guy. Rob Regioni's in the house. Right on. Bill likes sexy Grock. Grandizer's in the house. Moderator. Thank you so much, Grandizer, for helping out. Let's all take our pants off. Right. When we get to the sexy Grock segment, we'll all take our pants off. I might have my pants off right now. You just don't know. Even though I stood up a little bit, I got close. But yeah, infrared's here. We've been sucked draft balls standing up. Hey, slow down there, infrared. Take it down a notch, man. We're going into week 1. We're pumped. And if we're sucking giraffe balls, it's because we wanna. And we like it. And it's good. That's why. Let's get to Eric Samuelson super chat. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And thank you, Eric, for the support. Only my third after hours. Give me time to catch up. Well, hey, man, welcome. We're going to do it all season. I took this stream away for a while because, I had to get up when I was the executive director of the methadone clinic. Dude, I had to be like it opens at 5 and I'm about 50 minutes away. So I was waking up at 3:30 a.m. You can't very well hang out here till midnight and then get up at 3:30 and then go do that all day, So anyway, I don't do that anymore. So I can add this. And then again, like I'm not doing many night streams this year, but this one I'm keeping because I'm already here. All I do is just talk to Matt and Ryan a little bit after the Talking Jets panel, and I just turn this on and here we go, right? So, but I'm glad you're here, Eric. It's going to be a fun year, I think, if we keep our expectations in check. That's the whole thing. It's all about our expectations. If you think we're going to the Super Bowl, you're going to have a miserable year, most likely. If you think Aaron Glenn is getting coach of the year and we're going to be 12-4 and take the division, you might be having a miserable time. Now, if you think we're going to be somewhere between 6 and 9 wins and you're really just okay, you want to see progress, you want to see discipline, you want to see if Justin Fields is going to work out, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. You want to see the offensive line congeal, then you're going to have a good time. So I'm with you. It's going to be fun. Jake checking in. I like Wilson this year. Look at what DJ Reed did. You like Wilson this year. So Garrett Wilson, right? Is that who you mean? So look what DJ Reed did. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Jake. I'm trying to connect the two. Is that the Wilson you're talking about? Do we have another Wilson? Let me know. You know what, Jake? I'm going to come back to this. Let me know what you're saying. Just put in a regular comment. Yes, look at DJ Reed did in Chicago. DJ Reed. I don't know what's going on. Wait, DJ Reed. Yeah, what do you mean in Chicago? Wait, you know, like his I don't know what's happening. I feel so silly because I'm usually, it's definitely on my end, Jake. But you got to talk to me, buddy. I don't know what's happening. DJ Moore. That's what you're talking. I'm telling you, there was something missing. You meant DJ Moore. Right. I like Wilson. Look at what Justin Fields and DJ Moore were able to do. Got it. It's a great point. It shows that he's got it in him, right? Like it's there. It's not like he's completely devoid of the ability to have a number one wide receiver. Look, DJ Moore's a stud. So Garrett Wilson, has proven he can get open, proven he can make crazy catches, proven he can juke guys like a madman, get yards after the catch, smart player, resilient player, tough player. So Justin Fields has already proven that he can have that guy to the tune of, 1,100 plus yards or whatever it was. And they have a history together. So there's that. They're not starting from square one. These guys played together in college. They both were number one picks. You know what I mean? So I'm with you. Joe the Jet G checking in. Do I have a favorite college quarterback so far, Bean? Yours is Nuss. I don't yet. Let me see. Let me see something. Let me just see here. So, like we hear a lot about Alar, because Jeremy and Tony the GM, I think, are big Alar guys. Admittedly, I only watched like a game and a half of him, and I didn't love him, but that's a very small sample size. So, Nussmeier, Sellers. I might be a Sellers guy. So I'm keeping my eye on Sellers. Was the guy? I'm going to watch all of them, of course, but the short answer is no, not yet. But Nussmeier, obviously Alar. Sellers is somebody I'm on. Then you got Julian Sayin, they say. Just saying. But Carson Beck, Sam Leavitt, Cade Klubnik. So we'll keep our eye on these guys. I wasn't able to watch much college ball. I did watch the TCU North Carolina game, everybody. That was a good one. How fun was that? And now look, we don't know what the season's going to be or whatever, but it was nice because this week leading into the opening games, dude, I saw so much Belichick stuff. Yeah, he's going to do this to college football. And, I saw one guy say it's not fair. I'm like, what do you mean? What's not fair? Like the Belichick coming into Coach Joy, it's not fair to these other teams. Like, what do you mean? So, anywho, it was nice to see him not just get beaten, but utterly shellacked. Now, who knows what'll happen next week and all the, the rest of the season. But that was a nice start, wasn't it? So the last game Belichick coaches in the NFL, he gets stomped in the snow by the New York Jets, storms out of the stadium, doesn't say hi, bye, nothing, just leaves. And then he waits a couple years, comes back to coaching and gets shellacked game one. That's nice. I like that. That makes me happy. Grandizer reminding everybody about the StreamBeaner membership. $4.99 a month, custom emojis and loyalty badges. Another good way to support the channel. Recurring payment, cancel anytime. Right, and you get the free super chats. And you get members-only content, which I'm doing a lot more this year. Probably midweek after game one, I already have my first thing that I'm putting up. And then I'll do some extra football stuff. But a lot of the stuff that I do for members only is like, it's not necessarily football. It's like fun stuff. It's like me trying on dresses, things like that. Things that you guys want to see, right? All right, what do we got here? Ant Jet says, no Thursday, think of it. Yeah, I can't do it, man. I can't pull it off. The Thursday night, I just can't. I got scared. Like I pushed a lot of things aside for that, and it slowly but surely crept in. And it's like, in order to maintain it, it just didn't make sense for this year. Who knows about next year? So we'll see. or leaving later. I miss Gunny. I truly do. I saw Dom C in here. We'll see a project prospect with Don C. He says John Mateer. That's his guy. So Salvatore Big Pussy Bonpensero, not impressed by Alar. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pretend that I'm some expert and I've been watching. That's not the case. But what I did watch, he didn't look overly impressive. As a matter of fact, he looked a little bit indecisive and sloppy to me. But it was a very small sample size. Now, just so you guys know what a StreamBean or Super Chat looks like, Yoitz has been here for 26 consecutive months. What an amazing thing. Thank you so much, Vin. Truly. And this is what it is. He gets these. What are we eating during the game? Any Rex? Well, here's the thing. I will be at the stadium with the Tailgate Joe tailgate. So we're talking Jets meetup. So that's what we're doing. Let me show you guys. By the way, we just got 3 tickets, 3 extra tickets. So if you guys want in, this is it. This is the end. Like, we were sold out. Ryan had the opportunity with the rep to just grab 3 more tickets in our group, in our section. So we just did. So if you want in, now is the time. Let me see. So, just so you guys know, the ticket itself. So we're like 40-yard line upper level, which is my fave. I love those seats. Those tickets are $285. Our package is $299. So for another $14, you get the tailgate, which is amazing. All you can eat, all you can drink, beer. The only thing that if you want like mixed drinks, scotch or something, which they have, that's the only additional thing. Everything else is all you can eat and drink. Beer, soda, food. And I'll show you this. For week 1, this is what we're eating, yoits. All right, here we go. So we'll do this. Let me make sure you guys can see it. So for game 1, where is it? Let me see. Where's the thing? So home, meet the Liberty. Week 7, Panthers, Jets. Let me see something. Oh, wait, where is it? SummerSlam. Week 1. All right, so here's the menu. I hope he's got the menu. All right. So this is the Mexican theme. Every week he does a different theme. We've done German with him. We've done Italian with him. This is our first time doing Mexican. So this is what we're going to be eating. He's got a taco bar with beef, chorizo, tecate marinated chicken, and carne asada steak, which is what I'm going to be eating, dude. I'm going to be eating steak all day. Protein. I'll sprinkle in some chicken and chorizo, but it's going to be steak. So he's got a special burger, green chili cheeseburgers, La Freda beef blend topped with white American and hatch peppers. Those are great. Green chilies, man. Hot dogs with kraut and red onions, yellow rice, elotes, which is that Mexican corn covered in the cheese and everything else. So all the Yingling beer, and obviously Cokes and Diet Cokes and that kind of stuff. But look at this party, because it's 4-hour party. You got the DJ, you got bag toss. There's all like the cornhole games and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so E26. So here's the cool thing. Even if you have tickets, you can still just buy the tailgate and come hang with us. Like, you don't need to necessarily we only got 3 tickets. If you want to sit with us and get on the field after the game, then you need to grab one of these last 3 tickets if you haven't already. But if you have your tickets and everything and you just want to come hang, dude, this is a slam dunk. You don't have to bring anything. It's amazing. But anywho, and Tailgate Joe's the shit, dude. He's in like the Hall of Fame, like Jets fans. It's great. He's the best. I've known Tailgate Joe since like 2009. Long time. So thanks, UH. Thanks for bringing it up. And if you're going to be home, may I recommend, maybe you can stay on theme and you can go Mexican like we're going to do. Maybe you could talk. Hey, there's nothing wrong with tacos and nachos, right? But if I was going to be home for week 1 and I was just, not going anywhere or anything, what I would be making is my absolutely famous best wings you ever had. I'm a monster when it comes to wings. Granted, I don't make them enough that I'm like sharp. You know what I mean? But so what I do is I get a whole bunch of good wings. I grill them, right? So they have I just salt and pepper. And that thing is, I'll probably keep 20, 30 just as salt and pepper wings. I love that. I love to have those. Oreganata, right? That's what they're called. Little oil, little salt, little pepper. But then what I do is so I grill them to get the crunch, to get like the nice grilled outside. Then what I do is I put them in a dish, tin, whatever, with the sauce, varying heats. I put them in there and then I bake them slow depends, but like if it's a full thing, probably like 25, 30 minutes, like maybe 300. And dude, it makes them like you went to a barbecue joint and got ribs. You could inhale the meat off the bone, and it's so good, dude. I'm telling you, my wings are unbelievable. So there you go. Well, I see my buddy Gitmo Bob in the house. Thanks, Vin. Must be harder to cheat in college football for Belichick. Yeah. And he's got to recruit. There's that whole thing. You can't just go out there and buy. It's a little different. I don't know how the NIL stuff is going to work. I really don't know how you can do that necessarily. Like, I don't know the nuances of it, but it's different. It's not the same as the NFL. It's like you see great coaches in college. They like Saban or what was it? Urban, right? They come to the NFL and they get their ass kicked and they're gone in 2 years. Who was the guy so Saban coached, was it Saban with the Dolphins? And who was the guy who went to the Redskins or the other way around? Who was it? You guys remember? Modine says, Belichick can still succeed. Yeah, just one game. But that's exactly my point. We don't know what he can win every game from here on out. It is what it is. But all we have is today, baby. And he got shellacked. His doors blown off, as you say. Tyler Lombardo checking in. He says, Steelers are big and tough on defense. I don't know. Might be a long day. Need some highlight plays, all 3 phases to win. We will know a lot if Fields is completing passes. You know what I think, Tyler? One of the least talked about aspects of this, like storylines, if you will. We're all talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're talking about trading Breece Hall. We're talking about their defensive line versus our offensive line and vice versa. But what about the fact that Justin Fields was their starting quarterback the whole first chunk of the year? The first, 6 games, I think it was. That's a great helmet, by the way. That's my favorite. That would be what I want the Jets. That's exactly what I want the Jets to do. White helmet with that logo. That's what I want. And they won't do it. Anywho, Justin Fields was 4-2, right? Or was he 6-2? I think he was 4-2 as their starter, playing well, not necessarily lights out football, but smart football. 4-2, and then they relegate him to backup, and now he's our quarterback, and the first game is that team. You don't think he's motivated? We're not even talking about that. And again, he's got Garrett Wilson, Jeremy Ruckert, who are his buddies. Myers is in the house. Who knows? Maybe he's our starting center. So we got the Ohio State collection back, all joined forces again. So who knows? And that's going to be an interesting piece of this whole thing. if Justin Fields can settle in, because you're right, that defense, the Steelers' defense against our young offensive line, particularly the tackles. Membu is going to have a tough couple games, man. I hope not. It'd be great if he doesn't, but you could see it in preseason. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Yes, it's here. Man, hold on. So, but even Fashanu, who is, he's going into year 2. He has a full, not full season, but he's got a lot of games under his belt. Still, he's young. Those guys playing, this offensive line, particularly the outside, it's going to be a tough day. The Steelers are no joke. Now, they're saying maybe Hayward might not start. That'd be helpful. But I think we're going to have some problems. The good news with that is Justin Fields can escape and make them pay for it. So we just it's going to be really interesting to see how Engstrand, our new OC, can account for this, right? You can't just go in there and just, hey, we're going to just run the ball. No, it's got to be smart. You got to play to their weakness and or utilize their strengths against them, or at minimum account for them, I'm a believer that Membu should probably have some help in the beginning, at least. That's my belief. That's what I believe. All right, let's do a poll. I'm going to get the poll started. So we'll say, first, I want to do this poll. Realistically, what is your, all right, let me see this. Let me say it this way. Realistically, you know what? Let me just do straight. Let me just do this. Do you see? All right, we're just going to start with this one. Okay, get some polls going. Here we go. Jets look. Hold on. And one more option for you. All right, there you go. So that's our first poll. And then, like I said, we'll get into Sexy Grock a little bit, do a few more comments here, and go from there. Again, like I said, support the channel would be great. Couple ways you can do that. Squeeze the milk dunk. That's the like button. Smash that bad boy. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. These are easy, free things you can do. Just click, and it's done. It's greatly appreciated. Like I said, I really want to get past that 14,000. I'd love to get to 15,000 this year. Right now, I'm sitting at 13,700. So let's make that jump into 14,000 early. Come on, man. We can do it. We can do it. But if you want to support the channel more, memberships are great. You can gift memberships. You can join yourself. You get free emojis, the free super chats, and members only content. Some live streams that we're going to do private style this year. So, and it's all greatly appreciated, man. It helps the channel. So thank you. You guys are the shizniggle, the shiznags, right? Isn't that what the kids say? Or am I talking about the kids from 1989 now? I don't even know. All right. Reagan says, I want to see RD pressure the F out of Rodgers. Dude, it's one of the keys to the game. Like when you talk about a key to the game, if we allow Rodgers to get settled, comfortable, we're in trouble. That's my belief. Yes, he's a year older. Yes, it's a new system for him, new offense, new players. Yes, he will be playing his first live action since week 17 last year. So he didn't play in the preseason and all that. So that's all good. But man, oh man, if you let him get comfortable, settled in, because he's going to be motivated. He's going to want to make us pay. Aaron Rodgers is built like that. That's the kind of guy he is. He's motivated by being slighted. He wants to make people pay. You remember when he was interviewed after his first interview after the Jets decided to part ways, he said Aaron Glenn was weird. Like he said, remember, he's like, they were talking for a few seconds. He just got up and walked away, came back with the GM and said, do you want to play football? So you want to play football? And he said, I'm thinking about it. And he said, well, we're moving in a different direction. He said the whole thing was weird, right? Which doesn't sound like Aaron Glenn. But if that's the way he took it and that's the way he sees it, he could feel slighted. So coming back into our house as a member of the Steelers, which is a great organization, haven't had a losing season in forever, 20 years. Got DK Metcalf and Najee Harris and Pat Freiermuth and all these guys. So he's going to come in. He's going to be motivated. So we have to let him know from the word go, this is going to be a long day and it's going to hurt to play here. This is going to hurt. We're coming. And hopefully it can come from the defensive line without having to get exotic. That would be the best case. But I'm also not against sending Quincy Williams through the center to fucking light him up. You know what I mean? So I'm with that, Reagan. Phenom's in the house, my buddy. The Jets have a puncher's chance if we can limit the turnovers. I think we have more than a puncher's chance, quite frankly. I really do. I think we have a straight up shot. Like we're not walking into this game with a bunch of scrubs. We have a lot of question marks. But let's be real here. Our offensive line is probably the best, youngest, most talented offensive line we've had since the Rex era. Maybe 2015. But no, not really. Since the Rex years. Now, again, question marks, but the talent and all that and the youth, it's all there. Look at our running back room. We haven't had a running back room like this in forever. Since LaDainian Tomlinson and was Thomas Jones and Sean Green, and then we let Thomas Jones go and brought in LT, right? Isn't that how it went? But like since then, look at the defensive line. We got Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson, Quinnen Williams. These guys are not slouches here. But then going back to the offense real quick, dude, Garrett Wilson is a bona fide stud. He's an elite receiver. Now, after him, we got some question marks. But, I mean, Reynolds is solid. Arian Smith, we have hope for, but he's a rookie with question marks. But Garrett Wilson is a stud. Mason Taylor, I believe he's a stud. Well, we don't know yet. He hasn't played an NFL snap. Other than preseason, of course. But we don't know. Stone Smart looks serviceable. Rucker, I mean, I'd love to see the kid turn it around. But we don't know. Question marks. But it's a solid group. And again, going to the deep, look at our defensive line. You bring in Phillips. Like that frontier is something else. Now, Michael Clemens, Braden McGregor. There's some question marks there on the outside. But LT3 and the kid we got from Cleveland, like they look like nice rotational pieces, don't they? And then still, Sauce Gardner's out there. Michael Carter II's out there. The other guys are question marks. Stevens, Cisco, who I like. You know, Tony Adams, Malachi Moore if he floats in and out. You know, we got some question marks. But the guys, we're not like garbage. This isn't the, 2019 Jets. This isn't the Mike Maccagnan era. where there's just like you look around, there's nothing. We have no offensive line. We got a bunch of scrubs on defense. Like, again, I like to bring it up. The star of that defense back then was fucking Jordan Jenkins. And we had Muhammad Wilkerson for a little while, and they traded Sheldon Richardson, who was really good for us for a minute. But like overall, man, I mean, I guess we had the Sons of Anarchy for a minute there, but we let Snacks Harrison go for Wilkerson. It was like silly, man. But anyway, look at our offense then. Like we had nothing. We had, Josh McCown, Robbie Anderson running around like it's crazy. And then a rookie, Sam. Eric Samuelson checking back in. Because our GM failed to listen to Bean and draft a kicker, I'm worried about Folk in the clutch. Hey, here's the thing. He's old. But last year, he was like one of the top kickers in the NFL, efficiency and accuracy. Now, he might not be the guy kicking the 59-yarder for you to win the game, but he's a solid kid. I mean, he's good. He's upper tier good. Problem with us, like you're saying, I think, is longevity, getting through the whole season. But we do have Mevis on the practice squad, which I think is smart. Somebody could pluck him at any time, but he's there. So that's good. Keep him around, But I'm not as worried as you are. I think he's solid, especially this first half of the season, barring something happening. Like if all things just stay what they are, I think Folk is probably the least of our concerns. But you're right, man. I don't know why we don't just 1 year use a fifth, use a sixth, and just grab the best kicker in the country. Do it. If you use a 5th round pick on a kicker, like if you look at the kickers, and there's one that's really good. There's a crew, there's a couple, but the one you're like, this is the best kicker in the country. He's going to be in a 10, 20-year career in the NFL. Take 1 5th round pick and grab him. How many 5th round picks are doing shit for us? Michael Carter. Well, you know what I mean. But we didn't, because they listened to Dom C. And every other, because look, Dom's his opinion isn't like some, half-cocked opinion. He's coming out of scale. Like he knows this is the thinking. This is the smart NFL scout developed, process thinking. Like you don't use picks on a kicker. Now, I just happen to disagree with that. And I have no real background for it, but I disagree. I see, the Bills using a pick on Tyler Bass, and he's great. And there's some others I can't seem to remember. But anywho, I'm glad we ended up getting Folk because at least he's him. All right, what do we got here? Thank you, Eric. Wyatt checking in, our buddy. I'm sad Wyatt's not coming to opening day this year. He really added something last year, man. Wyatt added a whole different energy. Coming out here from Wyoming, a Marine stationed in California. We flew him across the country, and he hung out with us at a bar in New York. It was great. It was great. He says the Steelers are pedestrian. Well, that's the thing. The Steelers are the Steelers, and they're always going to be the Steelers. They have traits. The Steelers, they're going to be disciplined. They're going to play very hard. They're going to be aggressive, fast, violent, and smart. That's what they're going to do. That said, they're outside. I mean, their defense is studly, but their offense, the offensive line has question marks. Now, Broderick Jones had a rough year last year, but he's still a first round pedigree, and he's not a slouch. Fatanu is another one. Young guy, all the talent in the world. Now, in the interior, though, they have guys that I like too. Hold on a second here. I can't remember anything. Like when I hang out with Dom C, he remembers everything. Like he just remembers. I'm not that way anymore. Not to say I ever was. Let me see here. Let me see what this our lads kills me. All right, let's take a look at their depth chart real quick. I'm just gonna share the screen and do that. Come on, share. All right, here we go. So they got Mason Rudolph back. Look at that. Behind Aaron Rodgers, right? So running back Jaylen Warren, backed up by Caleb Johnson and Gainwell. So wide receivers, you got DK Metcalf and Scotty Miller. You got Calvin Austin. And I think he's questionable. I saw that he was banged up. Skowronek. I don't even know who that is. So that's on me. Roman Wilson, I like. Pat Fryermuth. You guys remember my love affair with that guy, right? Darnell Washington, I really like. So there, Jonnu Smith. Their tight end room is very strong. Now, then they got a fullback here. So, but look at their offensive line. So, Broderick Jones, we've talked about, right? Isaac Samalo, don't really know. Zach Frazier, I was a fan of. Mason McCormick, another one that I like, but Troy Fatanu. But the thing is, they're a big fat question mark. We can take advantage of that. Quinnen Williams, Phillips, Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald. We can take advantage of this. And especially if you send a little bit of heat. But you just got to make sure that you're not cutting off your nose to spite your face. Right? So if you get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, then you start like with the 4 and you start sending a little bit of heat and he's off kilter and Sauce can blanket DK. And so we got to see what Stevenson. Brandon Stevens, right? I always want to say Stevenson. But then here's where it gets ugly. I mean, look at this defensive line, everybody. And their linebackers. Highsmith and Queen. Sheesh. Peyton Wilson. Joey Porter. Jalen Ramsey. I want to see Garrett Wilson burn Jalen Ramsey. What a weird thing. They traded, Minkah Fitzpatrick before, and then they traded it back. Like they did it again. I don't know what that it's all about. But pedestrian, they might be a little bit more than pedestrian, but your point is sound. They're not a juggernaut. Aaron Rodgers is old, and that can be exploited. DK Metcalf is a stud, but Aaron Rodgers is going to remember, he's got to guys got to earn trust with him. So who knows what his rapport is with these guys? Roman Wilson or Calvin Austin, who knows? He's going to try to, if he starts zeroing in on DK, now that's a guy to zero in on, but Sauce took care of him. He played him very well. So Wyatt with another one says, A-Rod will be all chooched out by quarter 2. That's so funny. He's a chooch. That's so funny. Good pull, Wyatt. Good callback. So I'm telling you, man, it's all about the pressure on Aaron Rodgers. That's it. And if there's not immediate pressure, like Sauce Gardner, Michael Carter II, which I believe we're going to be a nickel quite a bit. And we got to see what Stevens is. Cisco, Tony. I'm not the biggest Tony Adams guy. I do like him, but he makes me nervous. I just don't see, he's not consistent enough for me to be confident in him. So, And they got their place kicker, Chris Boswell, everybody. Who's returned? Punt return to Calvin Austin. So he's banged up. And it would go to Scotty Miller. Good old Scotty Miller. So round 6. Yeah, I liked Scotty Miller. He's little fella, 5'9". So, it's going to be interesting to see who our punt returner is, right? It's going to end up being Gibson. But, I thought he was banged up. I'd rather see Pritchett get kicked up to the 53, But we'll see. So Lou checking in, and I'll read Lou's, and then we'll end that poll, and I'm going to add another one for you. We got to get the juices going for Sexy Grock, too. Sexy Grock coming up in a little while, everybody. Lou B, Super Jets fan, checking in. Thanks, Lou. He says, I went to many practices, and Justin has a wobble on his ball sometimes. What is that? Is that the problem? Is that a problem that can be fixed? I saw it is a problem that can be fixed. But generally speaking, it's bad technique. It's like what with Brady Cook. He was consistently with that wobble, and I don't like the wobble. Like, obviously, there's a reason why a tight spiral. Like, you ever hear the term, Lou? He throws a catchable ball, right? Like a wide receivers, tight ends. They'll say that about certain quarterbacks. Like Zach Wilson, one of the rubs with him was that he had no touch. So if he's throwing it with the same kind of heat, a guy's 15 yards away or if a guy's 6 yards away. So it makes it difficult to catch. Like you can't really, he's got to be able to differentiate between, the different scenarios. Justin Fields, it's probably coming from a lot of thinking. He's got a rocket arm, and we've seen, he throws a tight spiral, but if he's wobbling it, that usually comes out of either your feet aren't set or what you're doing is you're indecisive. You know what I mean? So like you're looking over here and you're throwing like that kind of stuff can add to the wobble. And Dom will tell you more too. Like there's lots of reasons for it. It can definitely be fixed, and he's definitely not had it consistently, but I hear you. Like you don't want your quarterback, if he's throwing wobbly balls, it's usually because of some sort of thinking up here. Once they get to this level. If you're me, I'm throwing a wobbly ball because I do something that's called sucking. That's the problem. I just suck. You know what I mean? But that's not the case. You get to the NFL, we already know that you can throw the football. And he's got a rocket arm, which is good. But thanks, Lou. Jake checking back in. Real 10 RAS score. Jelani Woods can play if healthy. Hands work. Dude, Jelani Woods, if he stays healthy, he is the steal of the waiver wire. Like he's this year's Quincy Williams. Fucking throat is so dry, man. I don't think the seltzer's helping. I got to get some just regular water cooking. Here we go. Let me leave it open. There you go, because I'll drink it more. So Jelani, right? We all talked about Zach Kuntz had a perfect 10 RAS score. Problem with him is that he's playing for Dominion, small school here in Eastern Virginia, and he's built like he's got a perfect 10 RAS score. He's got the size, the height, the speed, everything. And he made it to the 7th round. Why? And he might have made it to undrafted free agent if we didn't draft him. Because he can't catch and he doesn't put in the work. Like that was one of the rubs. I don't know how he did with the Jets, but one of the rubs was he just like he's got everything, all the genetically, he's got all the gifts, but he's relying on that as opposed to putting in the extra work like somebody who doesn't have that. So now Jelani Woods, same thing, perfect 10 RAS score. I want to see his height. Let me see something here. Where's his height? So we know he's 6'7", 255 about. His hands, yeah, so it's 6'7", 1. 253, they have him here. He did 24 reps on the bench. Yep. So he did. He ran a 6'7", 253. He ran a 4.6, 4.61. A 20-yard split, 2.6. 10-yard split, 1.6. Very good. Where's his hands? So his hands are 9.5 inches. So he's, almost 10-inch hands. Arms 34.5. So, I mean, this guy, and you remember like his stats, his rookie year, dude, he looked like the steal of the draft. I mean, it was like, wow, this guy's legit. So hold on. There it is. Yeah, so and then he has no stats from 23 and 24. So he had 25 receptions on 40 targets, 312 yards, 3 touchdowns. So, and he wasn't the premier, but he was a rookie. So that's really solid. And so getting him in here, the problem with him is that he's injury prone, and it's soft tissue injuries, which is, it's like if it lingers, he can't seem to get on the field. I think the one year he was out the whole year with turf toe. That's crazy. So he also played, I guess that was on it. I thought I was looking for special teams, but let me see. He played special teams. He played 6% of the snaps, and on offense, he played 33%. So it's an opportunity, I like him. And he spent his last year at UVA, so I'm always a fan of that. Green Dog member for 28 months. Look at that. Just coming in to let who was it? Yoitz. It's like 26 months. I'll see your 26 months and I'll raise you 2 more. So you guys are awesome. I really do appreciate it, man. Thank you. Jake says Justin will never be a good quarterback. He can run though. Well, I hear you. But I don't know if that's the case. Like they definitely said that about Gino Smith. Like when Gino Smith was on the Giants, he was the backup quarterback for the Giants. Remember that coach? He benched Eli Manning and put Gino Smith in, and then they fired the coach and got rid of Gino. Right around that time, it looked like Gino was going to be a journeyman at best. Like he's going to be lucky if he could just continue to find a home as a backup quarterback. And then all of a sudden, a couple years later, he gets his opportunity. Pete Carroll trades, Russell Wilson. And all of a sudden, Geno Smith gets a chance, and everybody thought they were tanking. And he lit it up. And now he's Pete Carroll got him back for the Raiders. And it's like, so, Geno Smith, remember, man, he was like one play. I'll tell you one play, Jake. See if you remember this. That just epitomized who Geno Smith was in the early part of his career. He was on his own goal line. Remember? So we had on a 5-yard line or whatever. He goes back to pass. He he says 5-step drop or whatever. So he's right on his goal line. The pressure comes from the right. And what does he do? You remember this? I know you guys already know. You remember what he did? He tried to put the ball around his back to get to his left hand, which is for what reason? Because the pressure's coming. So he put the ball behind his back. And what happened? He fumbled and they got a touchdown. You remember? Now, if you would have said then, and many people did, Jake, Geno Smith will never be a good quarterback. He can run, though, and he can too. He's not as good as Justin Fields, but he can too. You would have been supported. It would have made perfect sense if you said, this guy's never going to be a quarterback. Most people felt that way. So I don't know what Justin Fields is going to be, but I think he's going into year 5. He, in fairness, he did have kind of, shitty situations. The Bears are very much like the Jets when it comes to quarterbacks. Different offensive coordinators, different head coaches. Then he goes over to Pittsburgh. He plays 6 games and he's 4-2. Nothing great. Didn't light the world on fire, but he was solid. You know what I mean? So who knows? I'll tell you what, though, getting him back with Garrett Wilson, giving him a solid offensive line. If they can come together as a unit. Remember, these guys, most of them played together last year. That's the first time we're doing this in a long time that we're actually bringing 4/5 of the same offensive line back. We haven't done that in a long time. It's crazy to think, but that's the truth. So if they can do that, give them a real offensive line. Our running game's not in question as far as the talent of the backfield. The rapport with Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson is there. Now, it's been a couple years, but they have the history together. Gave him Mason Taylor, you know what I mean? Give a solid defense. We'll see how it works. But who knows? Who knows? And we might not need him to be Joe Montana. I show my age. Tom Brady. But if he can be like a 69% completion percentage, and he can be, 250 yards a game, a touchdown in the air and, 2 touchdown kind of, if he's like that kind of guy and our running game is really solid and he's just efficient and good and we're playing smart football, consistent football, dude, it might be that's what he is and that's what we, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And just having really good skill position guys. And he can take off it. So who knows, Jake? Who knows? I tell you what, just to your point, the data up to this point would lead you to believe it's at best, it's a long shot. You know what I mean? It's a long shot. But, Yeah, so David D, he's saying, the Bears haven't had long-term stability at quarterback since Sid Luck. Well, they had Cutler, and who was the guy? They had another guy. Delhomme, maybe, was it? But yeah, I mean, they're another one, and like, who knows? We got the kid up there now. I don't know. I'm so fried. I can't remember anything. I could see his face and everything. Caleb. They have him up there, and we'll see how that goes. He looks like he's got potential, man, for real. So we'll see. But they're similar to us. They're like, that race to the bottom. They're always trading in the top 5, and they're always up there with the picks. They have 2 top 10 picks, and you know what I mean? That's us. That's them. They've had the number 1 overall pick, though, which we haven't had since, in 28 years, which is bullshit. So, and you think he's growing up, he's maturing. He played for the Steelers last. So there's a shot. There's a legitimate shot for Justin Fields. All right, let's close this poll. I let it go too long. How many votes did we get? 80 votes. Okay. Realistically, what do you expect on Sunday? Jets look fantastic and dominate with 41%. What is happening with my microphone, everybody? I've never dealt with this before. Jets look solid, but lose 33%, which would suck because of the game. But as far as the building and everything like that, kind of developing this new culture and everything, that would be good. Be solid. Like, all right, look, we played really hard against a really good team, and and we just lost at the end. We're young and whatever. But I need to win this one. Jets look sloppy and lose with 15%, and Jets play well but blow it 10%. That would be the worst. Like playing really well and just like the last minute fumbling and they run it in for a touchdown or like a punt return in overtime, like that kind of shit. I don't want to see that. So, you know. I think the Jets have a legitimate chance to win this game, guys. Legitimate. It all depends. But we got to come out and we got to play aggressive, smart football from the rip. It can't be a game where we settle in. It can't. It's got to be aggressive and smart. They have to arrive ready to play. And that will be an indictment on Aaron Glenn's ability to do so if they don't show up that way. And then it'll give them an opportunity to respond. Like if you get there and like, let's say, for example, some of the stars, let's say Quinnen Williams and McDonald, let's just say Quinnen. Like Quinnen's one of our big name stars and a stud. So let's say he shows up and you can just see he's not playing. What Aaron Glenn does in response to that will be another test. But we got to show up ready to play. That's Aaron Glenn. That's what he's got to be able to bring here. Know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Jake checking back in says, hey, man, I'm positive till I'm not. Let's win. Right on. There you go. So, all right. So as you guys can see, before we get to Sexy Grock, which is coming up next, right after this break. Sexy Grock, baby, coming up. As you guys can see, Sleeper is sponsoring this show and will be for the rest of the season, which is neat. They're going to hang out with us for our live game streams as well, and GreenBean's Jets pod, which is awesome. So here's what I want to tell you about Sleeper. Again, like I told you guys, man, that's my fantasy league is there, and my Pick'em league is there with Talking Jets. So are you using the Sleeper app for fantasy football? If you're not, you're missing out. So here we go. Think you know football? Then try to turn your football knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. Doesn't that sound awesome? Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players. With more stats than any other daily fantasy app, just choose two or more of your favorite players from our pregame or live, pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you could win up to 100 times your money if your picks win. Use promo code GreenBean and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms and conditions for details. But here's the thing. I put the link right in the description of this video to make it easy for you. Don't forget to use the promo code GreenBean to get that match. And Sleeper, I'm going to be showing you all my stuff with fantasy football as we progress through the season, but it's going to be awesome, everybody. I'm so happy that it's them this year because I'm using it. You know what I mean? That's the thing. You guys know me. I don't like to, I really, like I get all kinds of opportunities for different ads and I turn stuff down. If I'm like, dude, I don't like it, number one. If I don't like it, I never do it. If I don't use it, you know, maybe I could get away if I actually like it, but I just happen not to use it. But when I like it and use it, that's the stuff that I always want to, I want to offer you guys deals. So right now it's Sleeper. And like you see here, there's the Sleeper app. The link is in the description. Use promo code GreenBean and get that 100% match on $100. You put 100 in, you get 200. How's that sound? Terms and conditions apply. So when you get there, look for that. Guys, I'm grateful. I'm happy. I'm glad it's Sleeper. All right. Killer. So now we'll do Hennessy checking in. Can see it coming down to a field goal, 16-13 game. Why would it be a game where, I mean, even if we win Hennessy, why would it ever be a game that doesn't cause us great stress? Right? It's going to be stressful. There's no way. There's no way it won't be. So, you know what I would really love? I would love if this game, like in the third, maybe mid to late third quarter, we run away. Wouldn't that be fun? We run away with the game. And we make it so that fourth quarter is kind of on the relaxing side. You can see we just control the game. We're running well, keeping their offense off the field. You know what I mean? We're up by 10 points in the fourth quarter. We got the ball and we're running at 4 to 5 yards a clip. And the clock's just ticking. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, I would love to be at a game like that. I might even go get myself a Knish if that happens. Get all excited. Let me get a Knish. Well, Wyatt's making fun of me because, like I said before, yes, I am using it. But you know what these guys did? My draft, the Beanbagger draft for fantasy on Sleeper, was supposed to be tomorrow night. And then, you know, I can't check in. Like sometimes I'm there more and some like on our Discord. I can't always stay. And then I come in and there's 150. I can't read all of them, right? So I try, but sometimes I can't. And they just decided, oh yeah, we're moving the draft. You can't do that. I planned around it. I mean, clearly they can do it because they did. But so the Sleeper auto draft, let me show you my team. I got to figure out how to get my phone screen on here. That's what I got to do. That's going to be the real. That's when shit's going to change, Wyatt. All right, let me show you guys my team. Let's see here. My name. All right, here we go. So in the Beanbagger League, I'm playing Bearded V-Tier this week. But here's my guys. So this is what they auto-picked. Can you see it? Let me see if I can get it clear. Oh, it's up there. That's why. It's hard to see, huh? All right, I'll just tell it to you. But you can see how great the app is. It's clean. It's clean, man. I love it. So, my quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. Not bad. Hold on. Oh, what did I do? I hate, you know what? Notifications, man, from, we're trying to do something on your phone and something comes in and you click. Next thing you know, you're in your medical records. I hate notifications on my phone. So I got Williams from the Rams as my running back, Kamara as my other running back. I got Jamar Chase. I got Brian Thomas, wide receivers. My tight end is Travis Kelce. I got Michael Evans as my flex. Calvin Ridley as another flex. We'll see. Boswell. We're playing him this week. Hopefully that's all they do is field goals. That'd be great. So my bench is, I got Dobbins, Najee Harris, Jamal Williams. Oh, is that Bijan? Let me see. No, Brian Robinson, Deebo Samuel, and Jerry Jeudy. Not a bad bench. Not a bad bench. So that's what the app picks. So thank you, Sleeper app. Thank you, Sleeper app. Wonderful. So Wyatt's making fun of me. He's like, use it. You auto drafted. But I didn't want to auto draft. But I'll tell you what, Wyatt, between you and me, I think that this might have been better than what I would have done. It just might be. I rarely end up with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Jamar Chase. I rarely do. Alvin Kamara. Nice. What are they predicting for Travis Kelce? He's got Njoku. They're saying he's going to beat me. But anyway, let's talk sexy Grock. So here we are. It's 10 of the hour. Let me get to this super chat before we do. We got to think of what type of questions. So what is the question we want to ask sexy Grock? Throw some ideas in the chat so I can look, and then I'll do a poll and we'll decide on it. We'll give like 3 options. All right, here we go. Sky C, good to see you, man. I don't think I've seen you yet. Coming into this season. So it's nice to see you, and thank you for the super chat. Hey, GreenBean, great to be with you for another season. I wear my GreenBean hoodie out here in SoCal proudly. That's awesome. What is your best and worst case season record this year? Thank you, Sky C. My best case scenario, the Jets catch a little lightning in a bottle. Teams like the Dolphins and the Patriots and, the Panthers, they're not quite up to it. You know what I mean? Like the Dolphins. Like, let's say, for example, game 4, Tua goes down. And we got Zach Wilson playing for them, and they're seeing the sloppy mess that Zach Wilson is. Like that kind of whatever. Something like that happens where teams are kind of off. We catch the lightning in a bottle. We're playing smart, disciplined football. And some of the teams that we're playing are hitting some hard times. You know what I mean? Some difficult patches. I can see a scenario where the Jets squeak out 10 wins. Maybe, let's say 10 wins. And we get in the wild card and maybe even win a wild card game. Either way, ending that damn no playoff streak would be delightful, especially if we come in first year with Aaron Glenn. We had 4 years of Robert Saleh. He couldn't eclipse 7 wins. Same thing with Gase, right? Gase had 7 wins as well, his best. And then Todd Bowles, too, the last bunch of years. He was not. So we went a long time without getting more than 7 wins. Remember, Saleh was 7-4, and we lost every friggin' game. We lost 6 straight games. Unbelievable. All we needed to do was win 1 more, and we were in the playoffs, by the way. Crazy. So that's my best case. So we catch lightning in a bottle. We're rolling a little bit. We're playing smart football. We're just a good team. And some of the teams that we're playing are having a hard time, right? I could look at like the Panthers, the Jaguars, the Browns, right? I think we play. So like that kind of thing. Worst case is that Justin Fields is complete hot garbage. The rookie, the offensive line is it's going to take him the whole year to kind of get going. Breece Hall, he's not really doing much. The offensive line isn't great. No passing threat. So he's running into brick walls, and we trade him mid-season, and we end up getting, worst case scenario though, for me, isn't like only winning 2 games, because that would be good as far as going into the quarterback draft. What we'll do, Sky C, is we'll still squeak out 5 or 6 and push ourselves to the 10th to 13th pick in the draft. That's what we'll do. That's worst case. Like, we're complete garbage. The Justin Fields experiment has failed. Breece Hall's not going to be here long. The other wide receivers are garbage. You know what I mean? Arian Smith is dropping passes, but we still figure out a way to win just enough games that we're not really in the choice quarterback market. We got to wait, and we got to take QB5 or QB, you know what I mean? Something like that. Or trade up, use next year's picks. You know what I mean? That's the bullshit that I don't want to see. So you could argue best case scenario on the other side of things would be clearly this team, like we start 0-4 and clearly Justin Fields ain't it. And we end up winning 2 games. That would be best case if we're going to suck. Because then we're in the quarterback sweepstakes, baby. But thank you. I see Dylan. I'll get to you in a minute. I want to get the poll up for Sexy Grock. Let me see here. What do you guys got? What do you guys got for comments? Let me see here. If anybody going to bed now. See you, Charles. Have a good night, buddy. I want to see what's going on with Sexy Grock. See if you guys have. Ask Sexy Grock how many times Saleh folds his arms on the sidelines. We could do that as a warm-up. We'll do some. I'm going to say, well, here we go. We'll do a warm-up Sexy Grock. No, I don't want to do a warm-up. I want to do one good question. Sorry. I get excited with Sexy Grock. Oh, Eric Samuelson. So that's a good one. So we'll add that one. Hold on. All right. What question to ask Sexy Grock? All right. All right, that's a good one. What else we got? Who runs harder, Brees or Allen? We did that one last week, Sluggo. But I'll just answer it. I think it's tough to say. I think they both do. But Braylon Allen has a very specific heat behind his runs. Brees is a little bit different, but they'll both drop the hammer at the end too, which I like. Ask Modine says Fields prediction. So Justin Fields prediction week 1. Come on, give me another one. Let me see what else you guys got. Sluggo says, let's talk food. I'm baked. My puppy is eating my hand. I'm waiting on Sexy Grock. There you go, Jake. We're almost there, buddy. Let me see what else. Whoops. All right, so we need one more potential. So will Aaron Glenn win Coach of the Year? All right, here you go. All right, here you go. The poll's up. I'll give it like 2 minutes. And we'll just go with this. So, all right. Now, remember, Sexy Grock, we're going to ask her if there's some follow-ups that we can do. Well, for clarification, we'll do that. But she's a bit wordy. So we want to make sure that, we don't give her the opportunity to tell us a friggin' novel. You guys are awesome, though. I think this is fun. I'm having a good time with you guys. I am tired. I will say that. I'm a little tired. Oh, that was a good one, Spaceman Music. We could have did that. Will the Jets, will they cover the spread? That would have been a good one to add. Oh, Sluggo, comparing him to Earl Campbell, that's a whole, I don't know, buddy. That's a jump. I love Braylon Allen. Earl Campbell was an absolute beast. Beast. Arbiv checking. Oh, I got to get to the other chat. Oh, hold on, Arbiv. Hold on. Sorry, Dylan. Here we go. Dylan checking in first. You think Sherwood takes the next step and becomes a Pro Bowler? I think he does. Dude, he was, top 3 in the league in tackles last year? But the difference is you don't just want tackles. That's great. I would really like him to make his impact like meeting guys at the line, like becoming like that, switching into that like aggressive linebacker. Like he's fast, he's very quick, sure tackler. That's all great. I'd like to see him take that next step and be kind of meeting guys at the line. You know what I mean? Like there are guys who they always make the tackle, but they're kind of like grabbing him as he runs by and they get the extra yard or, that kind of a thing, falling forward. And then there's the guys, Marvin Jones, Brian Cox, Mo Lewis, Ray Lewis, that like when they hit you, you're not going forward. And that's what I'd like to see him do. But either way, I think he can definitely be a Pro Bowler. He's got to be consistent. I'm real curious to see what both he and Quincy look like in this Aaron Glenn, Steve Wilkes defense. I'm real curious. We've never seen him outside of the Robert Saleh defense, right? Quincy, for that matter, too. Who knows? They might not be good fits, but they're playing nickel, so more than likely it'll be. I don't know if Sherwood is the best blitzing linebacker. I don't know. I think Quincy's probably better. But where Sherwood is really good is in coverage, too. He's a good coverage linebacker. Maybe not elite, but he's very good, solid. So that's a good one. We'll do RBIV, and then we're doing Sexy Grock. Whatever the poll says, that's the question that we ask. RBIV, thank you, buddy. He says, if the Jets have a poor record mid-year, but as a team, they are playing hard, and the reason for the poor record is due to quarterback play, would you want to see the Jets bench Fields? So mid-year, let's say, so at game 8, let's say we have 2 wins. So we're 2-6. And it's already looking like a washed season. And a lot of it has to do with Justin Fields, fumbles, picks. He's all over the place. He's throwing it high. He's throwing dirt balls, that kind of thing. Yes. Well, no. I'm going to pull that back. If we had a young guy that we were working on, yes. To just throw Tyrod Taylor in there and scrape up a few meaningless wins. Now, if 2-6, we're not out of it, right? So if you think that if Tyrod comes in, that's the missing piece, then yeah, go ahead and do it. And let's see if we can scrape up this season. Once it's 2-7, I think you just got to keep Justin, just ride it and try to get as many losses as you can while guys are developing. That's the way I see it. It's a tough one though, right? Because if you know Justin Fields is the issue and you know he's not going to be the long-term answer, then you got to know that you can't get caught up in this. We always coach to win. Yeah, sure. But you can put guys, keep Justin Fields in if he's playing like shit. And then know this is going to give me the better opportunity to get my choice quarterback in next year's draft. All right, here we go. Great question, RBIV. Here we go. I'm ending the poll. I don't even remember the questions I had up there. So let's see. Sexy Grock, which, guys, I'm developing an intro for Sexy Grock. Little music, little dancing, some cocktails, that kind of a thing. What question to ask Sexy Grock? Here we go. Taking the cake. Oh, no, it's a tie. Look at that. So I'm going to be the tiebreaker. Will Sauce Gardner contain DK Metcalf with 45%? And Justin Fields' prediction for week 1 with 45%. And the other one only got 10%. So here we go. I'm going to say, will Sauce Gardner contain DK Metcalf? I'm the tie-breaking vote. Okay, so here we go. We might be able to do both questions. Let's see. It's late, Modine. All right. You guys ready? Let me make sure she's going to speak. No, that way. Hold on. No. Shut up, you. Look at what she said. How do I play? She's already crazy. She's nuts. All right, here we go. Hey, Grock, will Sauce Gardner be able to contain DK Metcalf week 1 when the Jets play the Steelers?
Sauce Gardner's got the skills, and he's been talking a big game about getting under DK Metcalf's skin. With both of them healthy and the matchup set for week 1, it's going to be a battle. Gardner held Metcalf to just 1 catch for 3 yards in 2022, though Metcalf had 4 catches for 66 yards last season. Gardner's trash talking and coverage are elite, so he might frustrate Metcalf early. Still, Metcalf's a beast at 6'4", 229 pounds, and with Aaron Rodgers throwing, he could break through if he keeps his cool. It's a toss-up, but I'm leaning toward Gardner at least containing him enough, never from being a blowout performance. You feeling hyped for this matchup? Who you betting on in that duel?
I'm going to bet that Sauce Gardner shuts DK Metcalf down completely.
Bold move. I like your confidence. Gardner's definitely got the tools to shadow Metcalf and maybe even get in his head with that trash talk. If he locks him down completely, that'd be a statement win for the Jets D. You thinking Sauce gets an interception off Rodgers to seal it, or just straight up clamps Metcalf all game? What's your vibe on how it goes down?
I think Sauce is going to get an interception off Aaron Rodgers and run it in the end zone and then stuff the ball in Aaron Rodgers' face.
Oh, that's savage. I love the energy. Picturing Sauce picking off Rodgers, sprinting to the end zone, and then rubbing it in his face, that'd be wild. Gardner's got the swagger to pull it off, too. If he shuts down Metcalf and gets a pick 6, MetLife's going to lose it. You think Rodgers tries to fire back with a deep shot to Metcalf after that, or does he play it safe? What's the scene like in your head?
I don't know. All right, I'm done with that line. She's all right. So she thinks it's going to go either way. She thinks Sauce is going to do a good job. Let's ask the other question, since it was a tie, and we'll see if see where she goes. But it looks like she feels like Sauce Gardner can shut him down, right? But that DK Metcalf is a beast. So here we go. Give me a week 1 prediction on how you think Justin Fields will realistically do against the Steelers.
Justin Fields is walking into a tough spot against the Steelers in week 1. Pittsburgh's defense knows his tendencies from last year, and Mike Tomlin's got a plan to lean on that familiarity. Fields had a 66% completion rate with 5 TDs and just 1 pick in 10 games for the Steelers in 2023. But his rushing was the real weapon. Expect designed runs, maybe 5 to 7 carries for 40 to 50 yards, given his history and Tomlin noting his strength and mobility. Passing-wise, the Jets will likely keep it simple to avoid TJ Watt and Jalen Ramsey disrupting him. I'm thinking Fields goes around 18 for 27, 180 to 100 yards, 1 TD, and probably 1 turnover, either a pick or a fumble, since Pittsburgh's D is primed to pressure him, and his recent practice clips showed some accuracy struggles. The Jets will lean on their run game with Fields as a dual threat, but the Steelers' front 7 should limit big plays. He'll have a few flashes, but don't expect a breakout. What do you think? Feeling bullish on Fields pulling off an upset, or are you leaning Steelers?
I want to see Justin Fields use his strong legs to get a rushing touchdown. Do you think that's realistic?
Absolutely, it's realistic. Fields has those powerful legs, and with the Steelers likely stacking the box to stop the pass, he could exploit gaps on scrambles or designed runs. He averaged over 5 yards per carry last season, and Pittsburgh's defense, while tough, gave up some QB runs in 2024. I'd say there's a solid chance he breaks loose for a 10, 15-yard scamper into the end zone, especially in a red zone situation where his mobility shines. Picture him juking a linebacker and diving for the pylon. That'd get the crowd going wild. You think he pulls it off early in the game or late to seal it?
Well, I don't know, but I'll be there in the crowd. What should I do?
That's awesome. Being in the crowd will be electric. When you're there, soak it in. Cheer loud for Fields, especially if he breaks free for that rushing touchdown. Get those vocal cords ready. Maybe throw in a chant to hype the Jets D when they're stuffing Pittsburgh. Grab a drink, vibe with the fans, and keep an eye on Fields' legs. Could be a big moment. You've got a favorite game day ritual or just winging it? What's your plan to make the most of it?
I'm going to walk in the stadium backwards to break the curse.
That's a bold move. Walking in backwards to break the curse? Love the creativity. Might confuse a few fans, but if it gets Fields that rushing touchdown, it's worth a shot. You picturing yourself dodging the crowd like a pro, or just owning it with swagger? What's the vibe you're bringing to the stadium? Any other wild game day plans?
All right, she's just getting cooking. Well, she didn't get too sexy, but you could hear the tone. She was like wanting to, right? You can hear it. Ooh, yeah. I like the way he's going to rush in the end zone. But hey, either way, 18 for 27, she said. Not bad, 180 to 200 yards. She did say a touchdown and a turnover, but I don't know. It feels kind of realistic to me, doesn't it? So that's our Sexy Grock segment for today. Not quite as risque as we ended up going last week, but we'll see. We'll keep checking her, see how correct she is too as far as a predictive tool, right? We'll see that. Let me see one thing. I'll ask her one more thing. Do you think that the Jets will cover the spread against the Steelers week 1?
Based on the odds and analysis, it's close, but I'm leaning toward no. The Jets won't cover. Pittsburgh's favored by 2.5 to 3 points, with some books at -3, -102, and others dipping to -2.5, -125. The Jets' defense, led by Aaron Glenn, is solid and could keep it tight, especially with Sauce Gardner messing with DK Metcalf. But Pittsburgh's defense knows Justin Fields inside out from last season, and their pass rush tops in pressure grades per PFF, should rattle him. Fields might get his rushing yards, but I see turnovers holding you.
All right, whatever. I'm done. Hey, don't forget, guys, when Sauce Gardner played Aaron Rodgers, remember that game? Quinnen Williams was a beast. Michael Clemens blocked a point after or a punt, and Quinnen Williams blocked the point after. It was crazy town. Don't forget, early in that game, there was a pass. Aaron Rodgers threw it, bounced off the foot. Remember, the guy dropped it, it hit his foot, and went up. Sauce Gardner caught it and ran into the end zone for a pick 6. But they said that the ball touched the ground. Remember? So it can happen. I think this is the year Sauce starts plucking balls out of the sky. That's what I think. Sluggo says, thanks, everybody. Boners up. There you go. Well, guys, I want to thank you for hanging out with me. I want to thank Sleeper for hanging out with us. Don't forget about that $100 deposit match using the promo code GreenBean. I put the link in the description of this very video for you. Make it easy. I'm using Sleeper for both the Pick'em for Talking Jets and our fantasy league, and I'm excited about it. They're going to hang out with us all year, and I'll show you how we keep track and use the app. It's going to be great. But don't forget, you can make game day into payday. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button, the old milk thumbs, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I love you guys, and this is going to be an exciting week going into week 1. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see you guys at the stadium. It's going to be amazing. With that all said, I'm going to bid you adieu. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you next time.
I think he's going to be day one, a violent vertical edge setter.
We competing today. I see some gas off the edge. Get that mindset to put your shoulder on somebody. Dig, drop, you're finished.